Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dave Witcher Show. Thanks for tuning in. It is Saturday, the 16th of May. The weather will be breaking soon tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about civil disobedience and how you can achieve this level of greatness. What it is that you must do to be a gentleman and a lady and stay within honour. Yes? Let's wait for a few people to pop in. I was having a little think earlier on, right? And Tony Blair, when he was Prime Minister, Prime Monster of this country, the biggest warmonger this country's ever seen, or probably the world's ever seen, far worse than Gaddafi, in my humble opinion. I'm entitled to my opinions and free speech. I think I stand up for free speech. Not only do I stand up for my free speech, I stand up for your free speech and all. Hello, Donna Proctor. Nice to see you, Donna. Hope you're right. Did you get your tyres sorted out on your caravan? Hope so. I'm on the motorway, Dave. I was like, oh, you be careful out there, sweetheart. You'll be careful out there, sweetheart. So, Anne-Marie Shash, hey, sweetheart. Nice to see you, Kenny Mack, as always. Ooh, one of them Ian Poulter chest pumps for you, bruv. Hope you're all right. So, Tony Blair got rid of... He went in and messed up the House of Lords many years ago. Basically, he went in and he went like, listen... We're having a change out, right? If you're not in the gang, you're out, and that's that. And a lot of the lords did go, I think. He got rid of loads of them, and the ones that stayed jumped on his payroll. I'm just trying to bring up the time period of whether or not it was around about the same time that he did that with the House of Lords, that the police become a force. Just wondering if there's any correlation to that. That's what I'm wondering. What's this thing here? Can you see that? What's that? Oh, it's shining down off one of the lights. I'll leave it there. It's quite a pretty thing. It looks like a little mini light rainbow from a thing. Thanks, Dave, and we appreciate your words of wisdom. Matty Taylor, as always, gorgeous. I serve you people. We all serve each other. And listen, there's a bit of irony going on here. The Metropolitan Police today come out in full force, and we've seen them. They're out in full force now. They're out in the open. They're out for everybody to see. And the ironic part about this is if people don't actually see this now, then the next wave of what the system wants to bring in is going to be unbelievable. And I really don't think you want to see that. So I don't think people have got much choice but to sort of start standing up soon. And paying attention. Yet no masks. The police are obviously immune from that. And by the way, I've been on eBay. I bought myself a tunic, a constable's tunic, because they're antiviral. You don't catch a virus when you've got one of them police constable tunics on, and I've got one of the tits you stick on top of your head as well, with little points on it, one of the old constable hats. So I'm going to be just fine. This coronavirus is going to slide straight past me. So I wonder whether when Tony Blair was giving the House of Lords a big kick in years ago, back in the 90s, was that about the time that the police became a force? Now, I'm going to be doing some in-depth investigation into Robert Peel. Now, Robert Peel started the police force years ago, and there was massive objections in the House of Commons and the House of Lords many, many years ago, in that their biggest fear was a police state. They said, if we let this go through and we let Robert Peel have his way, although Robert Peel, a very fine, honourable young gentleman that they thought of at the time, and Robert Peel was part of the House of Lords and part of that kind of, he was part of that fraternity. But he tried to get that police thing through many, many times, and he was objected on many levels, but somehow he slipped it through. And the reason why they rejected it a few times was because of that simple fact. If this descends into a police state, what the hell would it be like? Well, we're there right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, we are right there right now in them people in that time period, in that House of Parliament, House of Lords, House of Commons. We are living the time period that they feared the most. We truthfully are. So this video is entitled Civil Disobedience, and what is it, and what can you do? we all think of this thing they call it the crown, and the crown really is you guys. It is all of you. For sure it is. I'm going to take these off a sec because I feel like I'm in a black room. That's better. Civil disobedience. Now, look, I'm all up for whatever to get the country back to something decent, something moral, something worthwhile. And I think it will have to go that way anyway. I think the people will insist on it at some point. I hope so. I have to live in hope. I have to. But our ancestors left us many, many things within the constitutional fabric arrangements of this country. And it was one, if you had a totalitarian tiptoe coming towards you, what can you do to deny it? And as much as protesting, all the protests I've ever been on, I've met some lovely people. I've done plenty of hugging, let me tell you, but it's never really achieved anything. And I've been on some of these where there's been over 100,000 people, all right? The one in Parliament last March, a red hot day to celebrate leaving the European Union, which is just turning out to be a complete debacle. We're at war, guys, with our own political framework, and that's sad. That's really savage. And it's a war of the minds. That's what it is. So I was there, and it was fantastic to see all them people, but nothing proactive come out of it. Everyone went home at the end of that day after spending an absolute fortune. And were they any better off for it? No, apart from the memories that they had, the great memories that they would have took from it that day. They wouldn't have, that was the only thing they achieved. Yes, Nigel Farage and Anne Widdecombe were all playing their violins up on the stage and singing Rule Britannia, which is a complete nonsense, because we are all slaves. We're all corporate slaves, as the police have quite clearly demonstrated today in Hyde Park. And I want to make this quite clear here and now. You know, the Metropolitan Police do not own the roads. The Met Police do not own the parks. The Met Police, in fact, own nothing. But they parade around as if they're the owners and guardians of this country, and they're not. And they're vile, absolute vile creatures kneeling on a man's head. Classy. Proper classy. Pulling him up, his pants fell down. Now, they wouldn't have been able to do that to me because there would have been something in the way, thrashing around. And they go, oh, pull his pants up quick. See enough of that. But they pulled this guy up and his pants fell down and they just carried him off like it. Ladies and gentlemen, please, someone tell me I'm wrong, please. Someone, please tell me that I'm wrong. I'm going to share this platform out so maybe we get a few more viewers. Perhaps everyone's having their tea and stuff like that. You know, we do well with this channel. It's just started. I've only been going a few weeks, probably 3 weeks. I've had up to 40 people in here viewing at one point, and I'm hoping that at some point that will start getting a bit bigger and a bit better. But it is what it is. So yeah, they knelt on this one car, and this guy's screaming, "Get off of my head!" Now, when you can kneel on a guy's head, and when he's telling you to get off of it, and you're not listening to him, that's ownership. That's slavery. That's slavery, and it can be any of you that could happen to tomorrow. They don't like the way you're driving. They don't like the way you're bringing your kids up. Guess what? You're going to be under the knee of that jackboot. Donna Proctor says, I can't work out why so many patriots have gone into a coma. It's a funny time, Donna. I've got to admit, we're living in a funny time. So anyway, the point of this video is civil disobedience. What is it that the system just loves from you? And that is your obedience, okay? Now, our ancestors left us plenty within our constitutional parameters of this country. And the constitutional law is not for me, it's not for you. It is what places limitations on government. That's what it does. Now, if you place the constitution in front of any court or any CPS, they will bow. They have to. They cannot go against the constitutional restraints that our ancestors locked into place. Thankfully, they did that. Thankfully, they placed them limitations upon these so-called public sector workers, and that's all they are. They're just working in the public sector. The police operates in the public sector. Every constable gets about £30,000 a year, which isn't a lot in the current climate. I hate them words, actually. That's what they always use, don't they? Oh, in the current climate. What's that then? Oh, in the current climate, we've got a virus on the loose. All right. So what was the current climate last year? Oh, it was terrorism. What was the current climate before that? Well, it was bird flu, swine flu, SARS, all the current climate. You've got to love, that's their most favourite words. They must sit down when they train in their constables and officers, whatever they want to call these people. When they're training them up, they must say, right, we want you to memorise some words here. Can you do it? Yes. Yeah, I think I can, Sarge. Right. Remember this. Say it out loud, class. In the current climate. And they all, oh, isn't that lovely? All in the current climate. Oh, you've got to be careful. We're only doing this to keep you safe. Yes, no, we're keeping you safe. Oops. Whoopsie. So they're out now. They are out. The whatever it is you want to call it, the New World Order, whatever, it is out in full display. And what is it we can do? Because we've established that protesting doesn't work. Unless hundreds of thousands of people want to come together and have purpose and have a desire to achieve something that will really hit home, like dropping something in a pickle barrel, dropping a bomb in a pickle barrel, that's the only time you're going to see major changes. You can protest until the end's earth. You're never getting nowhere. People always send me, Dave, will you sign this petition? No, I won't. Because petitions are begging people. Petitions are just to beg. Protests are just to beg. And then what happens is the goon squad come along and sweep up the people and harm them. There's many people been harmed there today. Why? Because firstly, there was insufficient numbers of people. If there was 100,000 people there today, that wouldn't have happened. The police would have just stood by and thought, we've done a risk assessment. This ain't happening. So if you can distrain the Crown and deny it a lifeline, which is my everyday endeavour, from growing food to having no communication with any of Her Majesty's services, and I mean none. That's when you're denying the Crown and you're denying the system, because, as I say, you're the Crown, you're the second coming, and that's what the Crown is. The Crown is the second coming, right? So once you get into that wisdom and you start challenging all your council taxes and stop paying that, because council tax only applies to businesses. It was only council tax and business rates were only ever to but to be placed upon businesses like high streets and different businesses like breweries and stuff. Why? Because they was the only ones, because it was only corporations that were supposed to be taxed, not single men and women. We was never supposed to be up on offer. In our private hereditaments, which is our homes, we were supposed to be fee simple. We were supposed to be allodial. We were supposed to have true title and claim over our properties. But now that isn't the case, but we need to get back there. Now, my good friend Andy Wolf Smith, was doing a video. He's now found and bought and purchased a family Bible from somewhere. Now, this is what we used to do many years ago when we had privacy. We used to register our kids in our own family Bibles, in our own registers, and we would put their height, weight, depth, their colour eyes, how old they were when they passed away, what their life was like. We used to keep all these records, and that would pass down through the families, different generations. It's when we was all private. But along comes this corporate world, and it subterfuged everyone just around about the time of the 1930s, and it placed us all under the cosh. And whilst everyone thinks money's fantastic because it gets you your condoms, your bacon and your eggs and all that loveliness that goes with it, and your nice little brum brums, what you must understand is it is just a complete throttle around the neck, because you never actually have title or control over a thing. All right, you just have the mere usages, because we're all dead lost at sea. So once you establish that, and you realise that, and you realise that the system only wants to stick its hand in your pocket, and then when you slap it and say, no more, you are not taxing me, you are not doing this, I am not playing that. There are a few things out there, ladies and gentlemen, that you can't avoid, like a bit of food tax and stuff like that. We're just seeing one country, I'm not too sure where it is, but their farmers are now coming out with their produce and they're selling direct to the people, and they're cutting out this government middleman. Because you remember, this government middleman, all he ever wants is some of that. They've just sold off a cannabis farm that government's growing for medical marijuana for £66 million, or 666, I think it was 66 million quid. But hang on, if it's okay for a government to grow God's plant, why is it not okay for all of us? Now that should open up some alarm bells there, ladies and gentlemen. You should be questioning, well, hang on a minute, they're growing this thing under license, under no sense in a lie, but yet people are not allowed to grow it in their own hereditament. Now, we should never be scared of government. Government should be scared of us. Government should fear us, the people. We shouldn't fear it. Never. We should never have adverts on the radio saying, if you don't pay your tax or file your tax return, we know where you live, and you hear doorsteps coming up, tapping on your door, and then taking you away in a dustbin. We should never have that. They should be fearing the people, putting adverts out saying, listen, government, you carry on like this, we're coming to sort you out. That's what you do when you live in a free country. When you live in a free country and a free people, all right, that's what happens. Government are actually fearful of you, but that's not the case no more. So the best we can do right now is to distress the state party, wherever it is, and to deny them a lifeline. And you start sitting in on your own treasures and your own whatever it is that you're doing, and you start growing your own food if you can, and doing other bits and bobs. If 50% of the population was to do that today, fantastic. Now, I've got a lot of my friends saying, oh, you're advocating people going out and not observing this COVID-19 thing. I'm saying, listen, look, it's a nonsense. And actually, I'm going to be going very soon, because my friend Andy Wordsmith is live now on Facebook, and I'm going to try and get in on him. He's talking from his family Bible. Here's some simple facts before I do disappear. In my village and the adjoining village, there's approximately a population of 14,000 people. Now, if there was a proper pandemic and an epidemic, whatever it is you want to call it, I don't care. And if thousands of people were dying, we'd have lost half of them people by now. They would have been gone. All right. That means smelly streets, bodies laying around, funeral directors not being able to cope. That kind of a scenario. All right. But that's not the case. Out of 14,000 people, they've done one suspected death from COVID-19. Now, I kind of like them odds. I think 14,000 to 1 is pretty decent. All right. Now, who knows? This old boy that passed away might have died with something else, and that ticket just might have been labelled up as COVID-19. And we have many doctors now, and some quite big hitters within all sorts of establishments coming out and saying this is a con, this is just a fraud. And why are the police not wearing all the stuff? Why are they in their and why have they all got sharp haircuts? Where are they getting their haircut from? Peeps, I'm hoping and praying that we all start seeing soon that we've all been swindled. All right, because this is a complete and utter swindle, and it's an effrontery to anything decent in humanity, or mankind, should I say. And as much as I applaud them people for going today, they played straight into the hands of the dark ones. And that is not something that we want to do. We need to be a little bit cleverer than that. We need to think with our brains on how it is that we tackle the beast. I'll leave that one there. Peeps, I love you as always. Donna saying, check the wording, Dave. Have they died or were they tested positive? Most of it is they tested positive for COVID-19. I think this will come out one day to be. I think the truth will be shone on this. And I'm pretty sure if I was living back in the time period of the plague and I was sat here and we had this technology and I was addressing you guys now, I'd probably say that half of my street would be dead. And there would be real panic and fear setting. Trust me. Yeah. But one man out of 14,000, come on. And you're all locked in your homes, doing the wishes of ministers. It's not law. CPS have quite clearly said it's not law. The CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, have turned around and said that every ticket issued by any constable or officer during this lockdown for going out, this, that, the other, is unenforceable and it's illegal. All right, that's the CPS. The Crown Prosecution said the police have no power to enforce social distancing. None at all, because it is the wish of a minister. I could say, I wish you all tomorrow to go out and wear black trousers and pink T-shirts. And if you don't, then I'm going to get my boys round to come and find you. It's no different from that. The CPS, the Crown Prosecution, have said that this is all illegal and void. And whatever happened to no cruel or unusual punishments? Why was that not implemented today in Hyde Park? Why was that man having his head knelt on? And the irony is, if everyone continues to accept this, we got problems. And then problems don't just mean everybody else. That means you're included and all of your family are under the same envelope of tyranny. We have absolutely descended into an ethos of tyranny. And the Met Police are nothing more than hired mercenary thugs. And the big issue I have with it is that these people don't land from outer space. They come from our families. And they're all doing it for the silver coin. They're just following orders. So, people, beware, be cautious. But how you do it is you distress the crown by turning your back on it and you deny it a lifeline. And then you'll find within yourself that your life starts becoming that little bit better because you're not playing into this system. Look, don't kid yourself. In 10 years, 20 years' time, pensions are not going to be there for you. The system's bust. It's gone broke. All right. And this is why they're doing what they're doing now. They're doing damage limitations right now. Okay. All the NHS, they've had their pay frozen for 2 years. The irony. Oh, the irony. TikTok videos, fantastic choreography. But guess what? They're not getting a pay increase for 2 years. So crack on. You're all special. So people, I love you as always. Zevi Zircon, hello gorgeous. Murphy Bell, still out. Better than worrying all the time. Absolutely right, mate. Donna Proctor, not all of them are yet, mate. No, exactly right, mate. Simon Lawkin said this from the beginning, but I'm the selfish one. It's look, if people can't see what's going on now in the world, this is just an oppression and tyranny. I do fear for them. I absolutely fear for what is to come for them. I don't care. Whatever. I mean, humanity will go in the direction. It will ebb and flow in the way that it's going to go, the way that it allows. But we're allowing these people to absolutely violate us every single day. And we turn a blind eye to it. Every one of my family and friends go, oh, don't worry about it. What are you making a noise for? Well, hang on a minute. That guy's that kid or that they've just been violent. Have you seen what oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's only a play. What you're condoning this behaviour. You're saying that this is all right. You're saying that kneeling on a man's head while his head and face is face palmed on tarmac is okay. And the way they surround the people, it bothers me immensely. They're a special kind of special, let me tell you. And if you tolerate it, your children will be next. They really, really will. Some interesting ones for my next lots of videos. I'm going to start recording some songs. So if you've got any requests, stick your songs down in the request. I'll record it, pre-record it, because I'll be using the backing tracks and I'm going to be singing it pre-recorded. I'll start playing them so we can have a little bit of music, and you can either tune in or turn off, which is your choice. And today, Jamie Bennett again has had his another profile taken down. Why? Because he hit the magic number. He had over 600 people viewing him at once, and Facebook go, you can't have that. They can't have that kind of an audience, people. Because they know they've lost the narrative. Mainstream media, ladies and gentlemen, have lost they've lost the narrative. They've lost the control. And Leon Trotsky turned around and said many years ago, he who controls the minds controls what goes on. Okay? Well, they did for many years control us through the TV and radio and all these other bits and bobs. That's not happening now. People are going elsewhere for their bits and bobs. And it's a great thing to witness. It truthfully is that we've all turned off from the BBC. None of us really tune in to the ITV. You know, they've had their go. It's game over. Everyone's tuning into alt media, whatever that is. And President Trump is just having a ball right now. Jamie had 25,000 followers. The British Army is only 75,000. Put that into context. Put that into perspective. But we need to be wise, people. We need to be wise with our energy going forwards. And protesting achieves nothing. It just bolsters the system. And you offer yourself up as a cheap token to these people. But they cannot do nothing about you distressing their system lawfully. Stop paying these thugs. Why would you pay a group of people to beat you? And that's exactly what they're there for our protection. We're there to keep you safe. I'm afraid, people, you've been misled and you've been misguided. Because they're certainly not there. They very much were there for that many years ago. And they were decent, upstanding people. They really were. Because they knew the value. They knew that if you placed a value in the people, that everything had an equilibrium to it. And everything kind of worked. But it's certainly not working no more. Dragons need to go try arrest Khan again. Apparently Khan is really quiet at the moment, and I think he might be ousted because Sadiq Khan's done a lot of damage to London. And all the knife crime, what was Sadiq Khan worried about more last year? He was worried about charging people £12 to enter London, which was revenuing at about £250,000 a day. It's true. He was getting about a quarter. I think it was £250,000 a day through congestion charges. Jesus, give me strength. We need to come back to a time period where we care for one another, people, where we don't put money first, where we use it as it is intended to be used, and it needs to be pure. We need to have good, clean money again. We don't want this dirty, filthy lucre, these 30 silver pieces. And when your politicians are only interested in fleecing you and how to rape you financially, you've got real big problems. And the more that you deny that it's going on, the more that you turn away from it and say, nah, this ain't happening, they would not do that to us, then you are now riding a very slippery slope, people. Why David Robinson not pushing Article 61 with vets and football lads, I don't know. Got a lot of time for David Robinson. He's a good guy, good patriot. This is all about cohesion, people. This is all about coming together. This is about no arguments. This is about accepting people for who they are. I know people out there like me. Some people don't. It's not my problem. I don't care about that. What I care about is my country and the people. And going forward, we need to go forward in decency, honesty and light. And we need to get rid of this wickedness. We really do have a wickedness right now. And the corporations are just mugging us off left, right and centre. So civil disobedience is the way that we have to go. It is in our inherent right to go civil disobedience. It means no violence. There is no violence in civil disobedience. It is your God-given right to turn your back on these despots. They are absolute despots. Now, I've seen this for many years, and I'm pretty grateful that a lot of people in this country now, for the very first time, are seeing the fact that they're run by traitors and despots. And I hope that they find the strength to do something about it. I really do. I can see more demos in London. Well, more demos, more arrests, more brutality. The police love this. The police love this. They love you playing into their hands. You need to come together in massive numbers, people. I mean, you need to unite first in all your different groups, all your different factions, and you all need to come together and say, right, this is the plan. We need to do this. We'll forget our differences. Let's just come together, right? A bit like the Warriors when they were running through New York City in that film in the 70s, yeah? Everyone thought they was all out to get the Warriors, but in the end, the Warriors had everyone behind them because they knew it wasn't the Warriors that killed Cyrus, right? But they was all out to get them. All these gangs was out to get them, and the Warriors, they got through. We need to come together. We need to be that. We need to be the elements from Manchester, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, London, Cardiff, Birmingham, Manchester. Come together. Come together. And what you'll do is you'll pull the system in with you, because if the whole country turns out for decency, guess what? They have to fall into line, people. They have to. And they won't attack massive. I'll never forget seeing the 70,000 Football Lads Alliance walk down Whitehall. I was with Graham Moore and Davy Russell at the time, and we was in London. And it was like the cavalry was coming down the road. I got so excited. And when the police see 70,000 decent men and women coming walking towards them, they wouldn't have dared attack one of them people, not one of them, because they knew that that's a hornet nest. And the hornet nests don't like being attacked. You can pick off a single bee. That single bee or wasp, don't kill the bees, by the way, we need them. But that single wasp, he comes in your house and you go, oh, get him, you kill him with a newspaper, or you tread on him and do whatever you like. But I'd say something now. If you go and find yourself a wasp nest and you hear it swarming, and you'll be like, that looks a bit tasty. Go on then. Go and have a attack. Go. You just killed a wasp 10 minutes. I ain't going near that. Nah. Why not? Well, there's millions in there. They're going to come out and have me. And you don't realise how powerful you are when you have that mentality. If you all just took the time out one day, especially during this lockdown, there is no excuses. Your country will be lost if you do not stand now. If you and your friends and your family do not stand now, it's game over. This COVID-19 is a test. It's a test to see how you will react. Okay? That's all this is to see just what this country is made of. Are we roll over, or are we, no, we ain't having that? And I truly believe that to be the case. So you ain't going to kick a wasp nest about, because you know what's coming. They'll kill you. You get a few of them wasps come out and start stinging you. You're brown bread, mate. You're dead. You're gone. We've seen someone today chatting about, there's been some really nice guy, quite professional looking. He's gone and done some radiation level tests around some 5G cell towers that have been placed in or just outside a child's school. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the levels of radiation are off the Richter scale. Off the Richter scale. Okay? So you have to lose the fear. You're all scared right now to hug your friends, to hug your family. And most people will turn on anybody and dob them in. That is really, really quite sad to witness in this country. And the facts don't lie, people. One elderly gentleman at 14,000 within a 10-mile radius of me has died allegedly of COVID-19. Do the math. Do the risk assessment in your own head and realise that this is just a massive fraud. Mark Steele, I know Mark Steele very well. He's a good lad. He's just done a fantastic thing with Kate Sciamani on the 5G radiation. But the people will tolerate it, and when their kids start dying of cancer, they won't be able to figure it out. And that's what's sad. That's what's sad, is that the system is picking on vulnerable people, people that have not quite got maybe the education required to figure a lot of this stuff out. Okay, it's sad, people. It's really quite sad that we would try and destroy all of ourselves from within. This isn't a foreign enemy. This is an enemy from within, ladies and gentlemen. And the police are now out in full show. They are the frontmen of this global corporacy. Can't even say the word corporatic, whatever it is. You know, the courts, they're just corporations. The Crown Corporation and the Vatican City is what's behind pulling all this. And we're not worthy to them. We are so not worthy. And it's always been about control. It's always been about subversion. It's always been about keeping you in fear. Fear is the biggest thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing that's keeping you all and your families from going outside, hugging your loved one. I see my son yesterday. He's building a school. He's a site agent. And I'm so proud of him. I really am. Yesterday, I come out a little tear in my eye. My boy's a man. He's grown up, man, and he's living his life. And I got down in, I just give him a big hug, and he gave me a big hug. And yeah, man, I felt the love, and I love him dearly. I really do. He's a good lad. He really is just absolutely gorgeous. I love my kids so much. It's just so, I don't see them as much as we ought to. They're grown up now. They've got their own lives, but I miss them. I do. I miss them, and I love them so much. That's one thing I do. I do love them. I do. And I just wish I could give them the world. I really do wish I could just give them the world. And I just do. And my little granddaughter, what sort of a world, she's going to be? What sort of a world are we? She's going to be going to these schools with all these 5G cell towers, and all your kids. And all your grandchildren, they're going to be getting sick, and you're going to see the cancer rate go to 1 in 1. It's 1 in 2 now. It's 1 in 2 now. 50 years ago, the cancer rate in this country was 1 in 27. What went so wrong? What went so wrong? Durf, our lives have become a big fraud committed against us by the British. Absolutely right, Durf. And I have to say, mate, it's an absolute pleasure having you in here. Elaine Clark. Hello, Elaine. Lovely to see you, darling. Nice to see you. To see you nice. Davey Wilson. Bella B. Hello, Bells. Nice to see you. Agreed this is testing the water opera. Mate, you best believe it. They're testing the waters. They want to see whether we're shepherds or we're sheep. They're testing us. This is the double-edged sword. In the book of Revelation, it talks about a double-edged sword. It says when Jesus returns, he comes back with a double-edged sword, and it's bronze, and it comes from his mouth, and his feet are like gold, bronze, gold, and molten gold. And the sword spews out, and the sword is, what side are you going to be on? Are you going to be on Christ's side, or are you going to fall into the pit and take the 666? What are you going to do? How strong are you, people, within yourself and within your faith? How strong are you? If someone was to come round to my house from the system and say, you're being mandatory vaccinated, I would say, take me out the back and shoot me now. I go home. You are not giving me and serving me that mark of the beast. Satan, get behind thee. Satanic. Ankle bracelet, tagging prisoners. It's satanical, people. And this is what this double-edged sword is. This is what Revelation is all about. And we're coming into these times where you're going to have to make serious decisions. That's the double-edged sword. Read the book. It's really interesting. Revelation to the end is beautiful. People get scared. They go, "Oh, Dave, I'm reading Revelation and I'm really scared." I said, "Well, just read it to the end and you won't have that understanding and understanding. You just won't." But we're in this time period. They're taking our children, they're taking the homes, they're taking the cars, and we tolerate it. We tolerate it. Well, not for much longer, because I see a new time coming. I really, really do see a new time coming. Why? Because it's off the charts now, people. People like Jamie and all of you gorgeous people out there are making so much of a difference in this world. Truthfully, you are warriors. You are making this stuff happen. You are spreading this word. You are beautiful. You are all beautiful, divine shards of God. And I want to say a prayer for you lot all the time. I do. I pray for you all the time that keeps you strong. Keep strong, people. Keep hammering that nail home, because you will make a change, because the universe gives you what you ask for. If you ask for doom and gloom, guess what it's going to give you? Doom and gloom. If you ask it to give you greatness and abundance and show you the light, it will show you the light. Trust me, I've been there. I've been on my knees. I've begged God for my life. Either take me or leave me. I've been on my hands and knees. I was having fits and convulsions many years ago. I wanted to die because it was turmoil. It was terrifying, the things that were going on in my body. And I got down on my knees. I said, "God, listen, I know you hear my voice, man. Take me or leave me. What are you going to do? Your choice. But don't leave me in this body with this going on. It's scaring my soul." And 2 days later, I opened up my eyes and I have seen the world for the very first time. And I had this freshen up in here. My heart was like, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. I'm thinking, whoa, what's it? And it took a while for the information to come back. And I come back different. I come back with a divine light, a spark in my soul. And I knew that my soul was not of the systems, but I knew the flesh was. They make a claim over the body. We need to surrender the birth certificates. We need to send them their shit back. We need to give them their property back. A piece of stinky paper. A piece of stinky, satanical paper. We give it back, people. We give it back. We say, take your stinky piece of dog turd and shove it where the sun don't shine. I belong to Almighty God, and through his Son, Jesus Christ, I will prevail, because my soul is strong enough to do so. Frankie Roberts, Dave, on About Records, I'm still standing. Yes, darling, you are. And you're a gorgeous man, Frank. And thanks for tuning in. Paula Adams, hello, Paula. Lovely to see you. Debbie Bidwell, it certainly is. Elaine, God is the answer. We must pray. Yes, we must. And listen, your prayers are answered. You might not think so. I'm telling you now, what you pray for, you shall receive. It might not come to you the next day. It might perplex you for a while, but I will guarantee you at some point, you pray for something hard enough and you mean with the right intent all day long, people. It's like shucking peas. So I pray for all of you guys. I really do. And I'm a man that lives in a different paradigm now. I see what the system is. That's why I turn my back on it, because I see through the matrix. I see all the lines in my life started lining up. I weren't all dotted around everywhere. People said to me today, "You going to Hyde Park?" I said, "For what? To get arrested and to get beaten up and get bullied?" Don't think so. Unless there's purpose and intent and an outcome. If someone comes to me with a massive group of people with purpose, intent, and an outcome, I'm all in, and I'm a rocking warrior. I will rock this war. Trust me, for the light, for the good. No violence, love, peace, compassion, wisdom, all the things we've been missing all these years, we will place back into the center ethos of this country and make it great again. We can do it. Why? Because we're the people. We have to change our minds first. We have to look outside the box. We have to say, what is it the system begs us to do on a daily week? We have to keep signing papers, pay here, pay here, pay here, can't park there, you've got to pay. Deny them that lifeline. Say, no, thank you, no more, not interested. Can't force you. They can force you on the ground when you go out protesting because you're all supposed to be home exercising social distancing, which the CPS have actually said is completely unlawful and illegal because there's no law surrounding social distance. It was a request. We're asking people to give distance. It's not law, and the CPS have told you as much. So the Metropolitan Police, for every action they're doing to every individual during this lockdown, makes them criminal. Because you would think that they would know the goddamn law, right? Wouldn't you? You'd think that the CPS would have told them, you're unlawful, old Bill, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. If the people want to go out, because this is just a wish of a minister, you're unlawful and you're actually illegal. You don't have no basis to be doing what you're doing. This is just a totalitarian tiptoe. So what are we going to do, people? This is the big question. I want you to all to talk to your friends, your families, your neighbours, your loved ones, even your distant cousin that you can't stand that stinks of shit. I want you to talk to him. I want you all to come together, and we can come together as a nation. Come together as a nation and a people, all under one common thing for goodness, greatness, light, decency. Can you imagine your kids growing up in a world of decency, love and greatness? Who wouldn't want that? Do you not want that? Do you not want that yourself? Do you not want that for... When did the Metropolitan Police own the roads? When did they own the parks? Whoever mandated them and said, actually, you own this now, and you get to decide who comes in and out of it. We've seen this coming for years, people. We've seen this totalitarian tiptoe coming for many years, and we've been trying to say to people, pay attention. They're coming for you. I don't believe in politics, Dave. Well, just because you don't believe in it, don't mean to say it's not going to take an interest in little old you. Everything you've got in your life is a complete lie. The license, the this, to that. It's a nonsense. It's a fiction. It's not real. So we're trying to bring God's kingdom back. We're trying to bring the proper world back, the creation, the greatness, the love. This planet is breaking apart, people. It is breaking its heart with what's going on. And people are turning out left, right and centre. In Budapest or Bulgaria, I don't know, Budapest, Bulgaria, the police have now said, no, we're not doing this. We're siding with the people. We've had enough of you. And the system out there must be proper worried. In the state of California today, they've shut down one of their buildings because so many people have gone down there and protest on it that they've shut the building down, and their local dude that was running the thing has gone into hiding. And fantastic. So we are seeing Sweden itself has never had a lockdown. We're not doing a lockdown. No, they're not doing a lockdown. This lockdown is to just take your civil liberties away from you. They've been doing this for years. Why? Because they took civil liberties out of the classrooms years ago. My dad was taught civil liberty. My dad went to school and he was taught who he was, what country he lived in, how great it was, and what civil liberties and what was right and what was wrong. He was taught that on the curriculum. He was taught that. They've taken that out, and ever since then, they've been taking away your civil liberties all the time. The teacher used to teach them their civil liberties. You have rights. And my dad was like, oh, all right, okay, so I've got rights, Christy. And he knew what was right and wrong. My dad's a great guy. Still alive, still rocking it. They took the civil liberties out of the schools, off the curriculum, and they've been piece by piece by piece since we joined this stupid European Union because of Edward Heath, who was playing with children at the time. That's a fact. Signed into this European Union, and we've been eroded ever since. The first thing they did was they took 240 pennies out of the pound and made it 100. So they swindled you overnight, and everyone clapped and said, oh, it's going to be so great in the European Union. And I don't have a problem with the people of Europe. The people of Europe are absolutely gorgeous. The problems I have is with their leaders. I have a problem with my leaders as well when they've got henchmen going out They can talk as eloquently as they like. You can have all these Jacob Rees, yes. He's got his dogs of war out there stamping on your heads, people. Putting their Doc Martens on top of you. Beating your brains in. They work for Rees Moggs. They work for Doris Johnson. They're mandated by these people. And they're beating you and killing you. And the rest of the country says, oh, don't worry about it. It's only the police. It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't waste time. Don't bring it to my doorstep. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm too scared. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to face the truth. Piss off. That's the truth. That's the reality right there. People don't want to hear it. They're happy. Just, oh, no, I'm going to ignore that. No. Till it affects them. Till it affects one of their family. And then whoosh. They're thrown straight into it. Will you ever get justice? No, you won't, because justice doesn't exist in this country anymore. You have to pay for justice. There is no freedom. You don't have no liberty, because they're taking the liberty, right? They took it a long time ago. You are now just a corporate slave. You was given a corporate value. These are the truths. If you can't handle the truths, not my problem. I'm giving you the God's honest truths. You have a value. You that's all you are to the system. You are just to be fleeced and to be used, and to your energy to be plundered. That's all they want. All these MPs live in a falsehood. They truly, oh, me and my constituents. Well, what you constituting over in a bunch of birth certificates? That's all they're presiding over is a drawer full of birth certificates. That's all. They're not presiding over the living flesh and blood, but people seem to think that they are the living flesh and blood, and you are not that piece of paper, people. And I'll keep hammering this until the last. On my deathbed, I'm going to be, nurse, don't put that drip in my arm. I've not got COVID-19. No, remember, you're not a piece of, and they're going to top me off because it's coming. I'm going to be at home one day and they're going to be slipping me some Mickey Finn in my arm just to knock me off so they can have everything. They're going to get everything anyway. They've already got everything. They paid for the Senate and they paid for the buildings and they paid for it all years ago. They've owned it for years and years and years. And that's why you're their piece of whatever it is on the bottom of their shoe. That's why they got their dogs of war out there bashing you over the head like it's their right to beat you up. It's their right to stand on your head. It's their right to pull your pants down and let your willy flash at everyone in Hyde Park. It's their right. Don't question them. How dare you question them? Don't question them. You've got no rights to question the police. You've got no rights to hold them to account. You've got no rights. They don't look at their arrogant. Oh no, what? Do what you're told. No, I don't want to put a gun in your hand, point a taser at you. All right, I'm on my way, son. Don't worry about it. Laters. That's tyranny. Tyranny. That's just tyranny. And you love a bit of... Yeah, I get it. I do get it. It's easy just to have an easy life, right? My missus is world's unicorns and rainbows, and I love her for it. She keeps me straight. Horses and all that. That's all do. My missus got out at the crack of dawn this morning. My mate's daughter's come round riding. They spend all day out there. She was out raking the yard at about 8:45, 8:30, whatever it was tonight, right? And I'm just like, she's just living rainbows and unicorns, man. She's loving it. But how would I deal if she went to work one day and say she didn't have MOT, it run out, and she didn't know, or she didn't have tax or whatever on her car? Next thing, she's pulled over, and next thing, I'm getting a phone call from the police station. We've got your missus down here. She's unconscious. We've given her a bit of a beating. We're not sure if she's going to make it or not. People, come on. Life's worth more than this. How would you feel? I know I can't even think. I mean, but it's a reality. It could happen. She just makes a slip, don't do something, and next thing, you ain't got this, we'll take your car. No, you ain't having my car. Boss your uncle, cuffs are on you, down the sill. You could be brown bread, or they could have stripped you naked. They're doing all these things. Their cells are Satan's lairs. What goes on in the police station cells? Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever got to find out the complete truth of what they've been up to over the years, it would make you piss up straight. You would be urinating vertically. You'd be like, what? Most people don't care. Most people, don't worry about it, ain't affecting me. It's all right, I've got EastEnders on the telly. I'm watching. No, it's all right. I'm watching the Olympics. No, look, Chelsea's on. Go and do one. I'm watching Chelsea, and I've been at work all day. I get it. It's a nice gig. It's a beautiful gig, having something to do with football and this, that, the other. But what are we becoming? What are we becoming? In certain countries, they've got these little robot dogs now going around parks, IDing people and telling you to go home and stay slave. Sounds like a future I want. We've got a system now in this country as well where the judicial system is going to be run and judged by computers. You're not going to have a jury. You're not going to have a judge. You're going to have a computer go, bum, 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 bum. There you go. There's your fine. Pay up, baby. Pay up. Come on. Give me your money. Pay up. Come on. Is that what you want? Is that the craziness that you want? What are we living in? DARPA? Exactly, Jesus Jones. That's exactly what it is. It's DARPA. Well, it's dippy and all. They can do one. If I see one of them out in the park, I'd kick it in the... I'd turn it upside down and I'd take me DeWalt drill with me. I'd drill his eyeballs out. If one of them drones come over near me, because I was taking a piss in that lake the other week that the old Bill died up in Dartmoor, wherever it is, I'd have me catapult out of my sling. Ping! Goodbye, drone. People, we got drones. We got drones telling people to go home. There's a geezer sat in an old Bill van going, oh, look at that couple. Oh, hello, there's a stray one over there. He's up there watching this couple, the old boy's getting a bit famous. Well, yeah, he's having a nice time with it. Yeah, and he catches someone out the thing. The old drone goes out, get away from that lagoon. Get away from that lagoon. Piss off. Excuse my French. It's here. It's not coming, it's here. You've got drones telling you to go home. Computer drones telling you to go home. Lord, take me now. I swear. I've been good. All right. I say my prayers every night. Just do whatever it is you've got to do, man. Just don't lay this on me no more. I've had enough, I've had enough of this madness. I really have. And you got all the seals out on a Thursday night. I'm like, I said to me miss the other night, get some mackerel when you get out of town. I was out there the other night throwing them over the fence. They didn't go quiet though. They kept on sealing. It was unbelievable. And of course, you used to have to throw out your dead on a Thursday night. You see, back in the plague, Thursday night, 8 o'clock, the old meat wagon used to come round, the old Orson cart with Baldrick on the front. Righto, who's got a dead one? Oh, we don't know. Lord Blackadder, I don't know who's dead. And everyone used to have to clap. Now, there's a dead one over there. Used to have to clap at 8 o'clock at night, and then they knew where to come to pick up the bodies. None of that's going on down my high street. No, none of that. No one's throwing their dead out. Nobody's throwing their dead out. Yeah, of course, they're getting a bit of flu, whatever. We're just coming out of flu season. What's the flu all about, right? Because you don't get the flu much in the summer, do you? Flu disappears. It goes it's like it migrates abroad. It's like it disappears off to Iceland or Czechoslovakia or somewhere. It's like the flu goes, righto, it's May, lads. We're pushing our luck. We might get to the middle of the month if we're lucky, but we best skedoodle now. So we get on the old, we get up there on the old, on the, what is it they call that? The old winds. The thing is when the old winds go, we get up there, we're going to land somewhere cold. We'll be all right. We'll leave the Brits alone for a while. They're okay. We'll come back next year. We do them every year. We come back and do the Brits every year. They love a bit of flu vaccine. What's it called? When they get up on the winds, it's going to annoy me now because I can't think of it. Anyway, so why does the flu disappear? It disappears because the vitamin D comes out. The sun comes out, right? And then the flu does one pretty much. So vitamin D is something you're lacking during the winter. Guess what? Get your vitamin Ds, get your vitamin Ks, get your vitamin Bs. You don't get the flu. Oh. Well, we're not teaching people about immunity. Got to wonder. But we'll have Big Pharma. Big Pharma makes a fortune. Here, Doc, what's that? I'm Big Pharma. I'm going to come in. Listen, if you give out 30,000 prescriptions this month and you sell 15 bottles of these Smarties, we're going to give you a free trip to Las Vegas. How do you fancy that? You sound sweet to me, mate. Yeah, give us one of your fridge magnets. I'll put it up on top of my thing. So when my patients come in, because they're testing me patients, they can all see that. And, they know that me and you, Big Pharma, we're on the same sort of Jetstream. Ray Edmonds, loving you, son. Loving you. Ray, you just signed up a little while ago, didn't you? A couple of hours ago. Got me eye on you, Ray. I have, Ray. Got me eye on you, son. I know you're a new subscriber. And thanks for tuning into the channel, loves. Always a pleasure. Never a chore have you here. So, yeah. But why is no one saying, well, actually, if you boost up your immune system, if you actually dare to eat properly and you dare to drink properly and you take all the proper minerals and nutrition and whatever that you need and you give your body the correct elements that it needs to thrive, you probably won't get ill. That sounds sweet, Doc. Yeah, I'm up for some of that. Oh, yeah, but you're going to put us out of business. No one's going to be coming in. Oh, well. So, yes, this is where we're at, people. Civil disobedience is the name of the game. It don't mean violence. It's complete polar opposite to violence, right? Here's a lovely one from my old mate Zippity Doodah. He says, if the government can suspend your rights anytime it deems something is a crisis, you don't have rights, you have permissions, all right? You have permission to leave your house. You have permission to get in a car and car share. You have permission to go to the golf courses because we've given the golf courses the permission now to open back up. We've given few restaurants the permission to open up as well. We're a nation of idiots. We've got to grow up. We've got to make government small again, people. And we've got to keep our eye on it. And don't forget, years ago, before I disappear, I'll get ugly when it goes after 10 at night. Like, no, I mean, really, this will go really weird in a minute. I done a youth training scheme thing, right? And one of our guys, whether he's still alive, I'd hope to think he probably might be. I'm not sure. I'm 53 this year. Yeah, he probably is. Brian Painter, beautiful geezer. He used to take us down the courts. And we used to bowl in there with our working boots on, my working trousers, my gear on. And we'd sit in there. And the magistrates look, oh, we won't take no notice. None of this get out of my court peasants. We just sit there on these big stony chairs and we'd watch a few cases. And it's like, oh, what's happening here then? Oh, yeah, well, this looks like there's a very lucrative business going on in here. That's what I thought back then. I thought, God, they're making fortunes in it. I wouldn't mind some of that swindle. I'm fine, and I'm fine. In Australia yesterday, this geezer's been out for this woman cop has come up with this geezer. I don't know who he was, and he kept telling this bloke to keep quiet. He went, tell her to keep quiet. Show your face. She said, you're gonna get a fine in the post for $1,500 for defying this curfew. What? He said, I'm never paying that. $1,500 for having the audacity to go out. Can you believe it? So he took us down to this court and we took an interest, and there was loads of other people in there as well, keeping an eye on things and making sure that they weren't up to no good. Well, if you go to any courts now, you're lucky if you see one or two people in the public gallery. People ain't got the time or can be bothered to keep check on justice. And this is why we're in such a mess, ladies and gentlemen. So I am going to disappear. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, having the patience to stick with me. We're going to grow this channel together. I can only do this with you, all right? And I wouldn't want to do it without you. Everything that we do is live. I'm not pre-recorded. I don't script. I don't do masses of research. If there's any things that you guys want to know about, let me know, and I'll do a bit of digging for you, a bit of research, and see what we can and can't come up with. Also, get over to my mate Daddy Dragon's channel, Graham Moore. Amazing guy, amazing content. Graham's got time to really dig under the surface and reveal so many fantastic things, and he is really, 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 really good. It's more about so praying will piss him off. Lord's here, Lord hear our prayers. Amen. Yeah, the Lord does hear my prayer. Actual fact, holding my microphone down here tonight is my King James Version Bible. I am a bit of a biblical man. I do read the word and live by the word, because that's what I will be judged on. Whether that's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. So Go over to Daddy Dragon, a massive following with Daddy Dragon. He started his YouTube off about 2 years ago, and I think he's up to just under 18,000 subscribers, and he's ripping the knob off people. That's why I say the media's lost their control. Everyone's now tuning into YouTube, BitTube, Twitter, VK. All these other things keep popping up. It's a beautiful thing, man. The internet could be our savior. The internet could be the thing that actually pulls us all together. It could be the revelation that we so badly need. So I'm off. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I bow down to your humbleness, and I will see you at some point tomorrow, my gorgeous people. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay protected, and keep the faith, all right? Because faith is something we really need right now, and we all need to come together. The biggest thing I want you to take from this tonight, can we come together, please? Can one and all just come together, and we can make this country great again, just like that. I love you all. Stay blessed.